Hello everybody, so back again today and I'm going to look at another big company. This is Pet Lab Co, so a little bit different than we've looked at previously, but one that has me very excited. And we're going to take a similar format. We're going to obviously dig into a little bit about them, their products, their store. We're going to dig into their Shopify. We're going to look at the traffic on their site. And we're also going to look at their ad creative for D2C, because I know a lot of Amazon sellers are interested in that side of things as well. So pumped to get going, and without further ado, let's dig in. So brand here, Pet Lab Co, founded UK based but focused on US market. It's a very common. Estimated revenue 100 to 150 per year. So they do Amazon and DTC. So let's have a look at their volumes here. So I've opened up their product range page, and we can see here with their first two pages, and they have like 4 pages of SKUs, I believe. Some of it is variations, or a lot of it is variations, but we can see approximately 6 million plus per month. So 12.6 is 72 million on Amazon, and very likely, and I'll fill you in for reasons later, they're doing comparable numbers D2C as well. So intriguing, and let's have a look at what they've got. So obviously a large amount of their volume is coming in their top kind of 5 SKUs here, which is typical. You usually see that in e-commerce. There's hero SKUs, and then there is secondary SKUs or complementary SKUs, let's say. So nothing out of the ordinary here. Let me see, is there any data on the page here? Reviews. Hero SKU has 50,000 reviews. Fascinating. We've got a lot of we've got a few SKUs that have over 10,000 reviews too, or ASINs maybe I should say. All quite small. Obviously we're in the pet supplies niche here. So is there anything else interesting here? And then obviously we can see really good BSRs. So top of the category leaders in many respects. So someone that, or a brand that is at the top, I was about to say the top of the food chain, excuse the pun, but at the top of the game. So let me see what we've got here. D2C, over 1.5 million customers served over 2023. Okay, so a couple of years ago. Category, what have we got? So joint and mobility chews, dental formula. We've got mouthwash style liquid. We got probiotics. We got allergy support, skin and coat health. Now, very interesting. Obviously, pets in the West are very big, very important to people. A little bit different than Asia, actually. Let's say, where it's less important, or it's people put less of a significance on pets. Give me one sec. Ironically or unironically, I was interrupted by my cat screaming. Yeah. And noise outside. Let's resume here. So we've looked at obviously their breakdown in terms of revenue. We've looked at the categories here. I've also mentioned, look, in the West, I'm not sure if there is a correlation with this, maybe reaching, but obviously less people having children in the West. It's not the same in many places in Asia, particularly Indonesia, Philippines, etc. Still a high birth rate, but they put less significance on pets basically. Which is curious, but anyway, so I tracked a little bit here. So let's dig into their top seller. So obviously this is a juggernaut of a SKU that is, or I should say a parent listing or an ASIN, that is absolutely killing the game. And let's have a look. We'll have a quick scan first and just see what we're working with, and then we will go back up to the top and we will see. Or we will go through it bit by bit. Okay. 2-pack, 3-pack. Okay, so you have the multi-packs available. Trying to get that extra profit margin. And the sort of product that people will purchase multiple of. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. Subscribers. Let's go into this a little bit later, but that's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. Country of origin, USA. So I'm pretty sure they've got a US LLC set up then. Or sorry, maybe the products are sourced from the USA. Let me have a look here. I should be able to tell. Are they using... Now I'm going to blur out their company data because I just don't think it's probably fair, but I will let you know what it says. Yeah, so they do have a US company. I guess they're at that stage, they're absolutely massive anyway. So, okay. So coming back in here, let's have a look at their listing itself. Obviously starting with the brand. At the starter title, very standard, Pet Lab Co. Probiotics for dogs. So serving dogs, and I also think largely focused on dogs. I do see some cat stuff. So my cat Nala will be very disappointed. But I do see a large focus on dogs here, which is obviously smart. It's a huge niche. Cats. Yeah, some for cats. However, it definitely is a secondary focus because I can just see dogs in every single SKU here. So that's the way it is on this one. And let's go a little bit further here. Occasional diarrhea, digestive health and seasonal allergies. Okay, allergies, pork flavor. Do pets get allergies? I guess they probably do. But maybe that was something that was only came about recently. Pork flavor, dirty soft chews. Packaging may vary. Okay, so they're obviously upgrading their packaging, quite dynamic. So they're stating this probably to avoid any negative reviews. I mean, the packaging here looks really good. Also possible that they are, because we know well a way of boosting the click-through rate and also helping the conversion in some instances is the main image. So they might be enlarging, for example, some of this text. So this is a 3D render. You can tell this is 3D render because there's no imperfections in the image. Professional photos, no matter how good the Photoshop is or the post-production editing, you can see imperfections. I mean, real life has imperfections. That's normal. This is like a 3D render. So this, for example, the blues might be a little bit more blue in the render. This might be the text might be a little bit bigger. But that may be why they've got this here, because their main image is actually probably slightly different than their actual packaging. This is very common and a great way of boosting click-through rates. We've seen huge results with this. And what it is basically taking the main image and enlarging some of the most important items. So that might be the brand name, might be what the benefit is, might be making the colors a little bit more sparkly. These are things that work. Yeah, maybe a little bit different than the actual packaging. So, okay. So if we look here, we've got two flavors. So very simple offering here, which I like. What we always want to try and do with customers is avoid adding complexity into their buying journey, because, and this is straight from many marketing books, but one that always stands out to me is Brand Story by Donald Miller. And that if we have to get the customer thinking about sizing and colors and all these types of things, it basically gives them more opportunity to tune out because they're making them work, basically. And what we want to do is make it seamless, make it obvious. There's one choice or there's two choices or it's a very easy choice. Then it's something that they can follow through naturally. And we can obviously see here, they've got the pork, they've got the salmon. Keep it easy, keep it real. As we all say. Value packs, again, very simple offering. Let's not overcomplicate the process. I mean, there is complexity when it comes to kind of probiotics and stuff like that. In terms of the live, what did I say? It has to be actually live cultures, all this type of things. So keeping the rest of the offering very simple is for big benefit, and you can see they've done that. They've done that well. One thing I like what they've done here on the image as well, or on the packaging, let's say, which is a real classic kind of marketing 101 thing, and that is drawing attention to one place on the image. If you're trying to draw the customer's attention to multiple places on the same image, you're going to have trouble, and quite frankly, they're not going to look at the one thing that is actually important. Now, we can all see immediately on this main image what stands out. The big benefit here, supports healthy gut and normal digestive function. So obviously as a pet owner, you're trying to tap into that. They obviously want their pets to have a healthy gut, normal digestive function. These are kind of basic things, but they've highlighted this purple so it stands out compared to the rest. The rest of this is more like spec. This is what it is. This is what it does. This is the benefit, and they've got that highlighted, so it's smart by them. Okay, so let's have a look what else they've got here. Now, I've noticed this on the scan through. They do they do mention America's #1 probiotic juice. This is smart and really good as far as if you can enter into niches hard, early ideally, but not every niche now needs to be, can be early of course. But then when you are near the top or at the top, kind of adding that badge to give you the, almost like a staying power, you know what I mean? People want to do what a lot of other people are doing in general, particularly when it comes to purchases for pets and stuff like that, or medicine. They want the safety, there's safety in numbers. So to say that this is the #1 probiotic chew is a big step towards that. It gives people comfort, it gives people trust, you know, that their pet is getting the best. Manufactured in USA from domestic and globally sourced ingredients. So again, I know this is very topical at the moment with the tariffs and with like the America First and so on. And having something that says made in the USA, made in USA searches are up. So people are tentatively looking for made in USA. They are aware of it. And this is something that may continue for many years, you know, and obviously Pet Lab here being manufactured in the USA, this is what they are pointing out. They're pointing it out in their image here. But like a lot of things in the global supply chain, not all of the ingredients, not all of the components are actually made in the USA or sourced from the USA. And given how globally connected the world is, many of these ingredients can come from places like China or India or anywhere that has these kind of access to huge amounts of raw materials or raw ingredients. So they've noted that down, but they've tapped into manufactured in the USA. So people are going to see that and be pretty happy, or at least content. Now, I want to counteract that a little bit. And also I did see that a case study where this was a D2C case study, but still tells a lot, where someone was selling, I believe, bathroom equipment. I think it was shower heads, and they had shower head from China. They were selling it for $130. And then they actually sourced a shower head in the USA, but they had to increase the pricing because the components were so expensive. So they had the USA made shower head, which is $230. So $130 sale price for the China made one, $230 for the USA made one. Nobody purchased the USA made one, nobody. And I think they had like 100,000 visitors to the page or something. So a lot of sales for the China based one. Again, the reviews are there. If the quality is good, people are not going to be overly picky, because quite frankly, look, USA made is a better brand, of course, and people obviously want to support their own. That makes sense. But people are not willing to spend a huge increase if they're getting the same bang for their buck, or if they're getting the same quality as is, let's say, something made elsewhere. So something to think about. And obviously America's #1, tapping into some benefits here. #1 selling product in 2022. Again, the same type of thing here. Now, 2022 is getting a little bit on. I would wonder on the returns on a statement like that. However, if they were ever the #1, it is still a big thing. But how relevant that will be into the years ahead, I'm not too sure. Now, if we look at 8 billion CFU, so this is the culture, 3 billion A probiotics, honey, natural gut bacteria, pumpkin. So again, very simple image. I like this image. Very simple. They're not going overboard with all these different ingredients on the within the visuals. They're just keeping it simple, and they're telling what is the building blocks of this. Because again, probiotics, treating your dog, I guess it's like a form of treatment. Probiotics, or treating their gut issues, is a complex thing. The product itself is quite complex. So you'll see to counteract that, Pet Lab Co are making the experience very simple. Very simple. They're giving the ingredients, but they're giving the what that means. You know, if you were to say 140 milligrams of honey, people are going to be like, well, I can remember honey is good, but I don't remember exactly. So look, just making it very simple. Okay, so directions, again, same team here. Exact same team. You know, and I don't want to be repeating myself or boring you guys, but oftentimes the fundamental truths and the things that work can be quite simple, or can be quite redundant when you're a person that is actually actively looking this up. I know many people that don't actually do this. They don't actually go that next level, or are constantly looking to learn. Some people get success and quite frankly they sit back and put the feet up. But obviously you watching this wants to improve further. So again, very simple approach here. However, maybe we can draw something from how they've done it. directions for you, small dog, medium dog, and the large dog. Good that they put the poundage in here, because most people will understand from visits to the vet what size their dog is in weight. So this should be pretty easy to understand and easy to action on, very easy to action on. To help your dog adjust, start with half the serving for the original. Okay, pro tip, so nice. That makes sense. And this is obviously even going against their, obviously they're incentivized to sell more products. Now this is going a little bit against that, but I like that. I think sometimes you have to keep it real. You have to keep it real. You have to kind of go against what would be the profit driver sometimes. But obviously with the caveat that sometimes if you actually go against the profit driver, it kind of adds more profit as well. People see that and trust that more. So very interesting here. And keeping on the theme of simplicity. Keeping on that theme. Okay, we gotta get through these images. Multi-pack, nice. They're just trying to, I think everyone is familiar with the marketing concept that you need to see an offer like multiple times. It might even be increasing now. I'm not sure what the latest stats are, but before they used to say you needed to see it like 4 or 5 times in e-com, so it would be hit with ads, so let's say Meta or whatever it is, and then Amazon, before it gets into the mind. Now, if you think of every offering here you've got as a mini offer, like the 3-packs, they're just trying to plant that seed in your mind. Now, because everyone wants to get a good deal. So can you get it for less? Can you get a multi-pack? Quite frankly, that's going to be a lot easier. So you can see they're tapping into that repeat offer. Just make the offer. So, okay. Scratching, paw licking, head shaking, occasional loose stools. Okay, so they're trying to cover a lot of bases here. Head shaking. Some of these might be symptoms that don't directly go with probiotics, but obviously some of it will as well. So proud to have helped millions of dogs worldwide, so that's nice. Now notice any of these images after this point are now not in the main fold. So how many people are looking at this is up for debate, but it's significantly less than what are looking at the ones that are shown. So let's see what ones they've decided are not as important. And a brand like this have undoubtedly decided this. So help millions of dogs worldwide. Yeah, kind of a cute image, but maybe not a major driver of sales. 4 million pets worldwide. This is nice. I think they kind of cover it with the America's #1. And what do we know about the current climate? This, as I said, these sales are up. So I would imagine they've had a decision here on a marketing meeting or similar, whereby they've literally said, okay, we can have the 4 million pets worldwide, or we can be America's #1. And tapping into that sentiment, America's #1 likely going to convert better. So that's the choices they've made. Packaging may vary, so the only change on this thing is this part. So maybe the packaging. It's possible the packaging doesn't even exist. That they're testing the packaging with the idea of getting an increase in click-through rate. So that's interesting, and something I recommend you do as well. Maybe they do have 2 types already, but maybe they've tested it and then they have 2 types now. It's also possible, but definitely testing on the main image is the way to go. I don't know what's going on with the side of this image, but not every image can be perfect. This image is actually quite blurry on my screen. I don't know why. It feels almost like it's not the same. I don't know. Everything here is crisp and clean, and then this one is kind of blurry and I'm not sure. Maybe they don't even realize this image is up because it kind of looks old. But anyway, there it is. I'm not sure how well it's doing, but it's at the end. Okay, image stack really nice. Keeping on the theme of simplicity. Salmon. I'm not going to go through the full listings here. I'm just going to have a quick scan. So they are adding their social credibility here. Clinically studied. So they are testing some different. They are testing some different images. Now it's possible they just haven't updated this, or maybe this is a split test. This could be an experiment running. 90 days. This is nice. They're selling the vision here. This is really nice. And it's going to increase their multi-packs. It's going to increase their subscriptions. This is for sure. Because they're laying out 90 days. Now, assumably 1 pack does not last 90 days. They've got even more here. So, again, as I said, they're trying to add in more. Some of these things might just be things that happen. But they're definitely trying to tap it into the probiotic need. Obviously, probiotics are important. I'm not trying to say they're not, but the body is also not perfect as well. So, I mean, there's going to be things that happen. If they don't have that other image, you'll know. So I think the other one is old, and I think they're testing this. I'm not sure if it's an experiment or what it might be, but I think the other one's old. They do have a video ad there as well. I don't think that's going to translate very well into the video. By the way, I know that these guys have done really well with their UGC, TikTok, etc. So, okay, so they've just put a lot of UGC in here. I mean, it works. Real customers. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the pork just to keep it. And we slide down here. Okay, social credibility 101. So they're going all in on this one. 4 million pets, America's #1 seller. Simple daily routines. What else have we got here? Vet reviewed. So again, adding that really authority, social credibility, but then also that authority is key. Some reviews here. So yeah, obviously you can put reviews in your listings as well. So this is not to be neglected. It can convert really well. Put your best reviews here. Obviously it has to be a real review, has to be verified, etc. But once it is, no problem. And then a kind of a social credibility finish, a real classic marketing here at the end. Just trying to get people over the line and make a purchase, you know. Some personalization. So this is nice, yeah. Again, very simple. Don't go overboard here with the story, but like just give something that adds that credibility. Again, America's #1, so really tapping into this sentiment now. And you can assume, given that these guys are in the top sort of 10 in the BSR for a few products, that like this is what's converting now, or this is what's working. Not every niche is going to be like this, but I guess people that are buying for pets really care. Number one social credibility. Okay, so I'm going to assume it's almost like made out that the pet is leaving the review. I think it made me smile. Maybe that's the point. Maybe it just makes me smile. I don't know. But obviously they've got the pets on there, so yeah, it's the way to do it. And I would imagine, let's have a little look. Are these in the reviews? Let's see. We're going to pop in here. Are these in the reviews? Are they using dogs that are in there? Can anyone see the dogs? Can anyone see them? Okay, I'm just going to scan. I can't actually remember what the other ones are, but I feel like I'll recognize it when I go back up. A lot of pets here, though. Let's be honest. So this is, again, I think this had 50,000 reviews. So to be fair, I'm probably going to be here a while. So let me just, oh no, just as I said that. You can see the old packaging though. Joint care. It looks like they've had different SKUs on this because not everything says probiotic. So they've probably added this to an existing listing. Let's see, did we see any of the dogs? Okay, I don't know if we've seen any dogs. I don't recall. But either way, it made me smile and think this is obviously getting an emotional reaction. We talked about that a little bit on previous videos. Emotional reaction is very good. It's a reaction. Most people are like autonomous almost when they're scrolling, and I've got something really interesting with the scrolling I'll talk about in just a bit later when I look at the Shopify traffic. But most people are just scrolling Amazon like it's a compulsion. Mobile traffic's increasing. When are most people using their phone? Probably in bed. You know, they're half asleep. Can you get a reaction? Not a reaction, you don't want to be provoking people, but can you get an emotional buy-in? You know, because as we know, people make decisions emotionally, or make buying decisions emotionally, and they justify it with logic. So they don't make logical decisions and justify it with emotion. Okay, so again, social credibility. We got a vet here, so they obviously paid the vet. And it's a consultant, so that's good. Smart thinking, especially given it's a UK brand, to be able to get a vet from the US just adds more to the credibility. So this is more general. But this is nice though. I feel like they should have made more of this almost, because this is very specific in the marketing. These are a little bit general kind of, which obviously work. I'm not trying to say they don't work, but specifics also work a lot better. They're more punchy, you know what I mean? But anyway, you need to point this out somewhere. But I would enlarge this. Maybe it's like, this is the large one and then these are the smaller ones, rather than it being comparable, because this one is pretty punchy, I think. Powerful research ingredients. Again, research. Just had a vet on there, or a doctor. I think you called the doctor. It's a vet as well. So multi-packs now available. Looking good. Looking most popular. So they're trying to sell the 3-pack. What do we know as Amazon sellers, as e-commerce entrepreneurs? The large items, the multi-packs, there's a lot more profit in it, a lot more value in it. And in this case as well, it's a situation where like it actually will take probably 90 days to see a benefit. You know, like these type of things don't happen immediately overnight. So if they purchase, one, Pet Lab's going to make more profit, which is obviously great. But two, then the customer is going to see the benefit in their dog. So again, pushing this makes sense. Okay. So they've got this here at the end, which is what I like to see, because this I felt was very punchy, and something that makes a lot of sense to have its own fold or to highlight it. Question and answer. So this is nice as well. Now, one thing here is the Rufus. So you can see here, what are the main ingredients? This is important because you need to look at your own listings and you need to look what Rufus is saying, because this is where, let's help the dogs. Does it help? Again, I would assume so. It's in the listing as well. But these are the questions. This is what customers are clicking on. Not every customer, but many are clicking on this. So you need to make sure Rufus is asking the questions that you have answers to. I don't mean you can change Rufus's questions per se. But what I'm saying is you can change your listing. You can point out certain things so that it actually addresses these questions. You know, assuming they're a big one. Now I'm going to remove this back because these are the big ones. It's at the top here as well. So Amazon are obviously pushing it. What are the main ingredients? Look, see, so these, just keeping an eye on these things and answering these questions in your listing and your content is the key, because it does scan your listing. Whereas if it says like, does this help with digestion, and somewhere it says no, obviously that would be pretty bad, but you get the idea. You need to check your Rufus questions. Okay, so question and answers, videos, lots of UGC. I mentioned this earlier. Lots of UGC. We'll see if we can figure out what they're doing to get the UGC. Again, pets is something people are passionate about, so you just get the UGC will come. This is nice. I actually haven't seen this, I don't think. 100 customers, so top brand, trending. This is nice. Low returns, and obviously this is what we want, because many people that have been selling for a long time, we want something that kind of differentiates us. So this is nice. I like it. Okay. What else have we got here? So we touched on the reviews already. A lot of reviews. This is obviously I was about to say the ChatGPT. It's more Amazon's own LLM, large language model. But it's making the reviews concise and trying to build into one. Again, does it cover everything? No. But this is important because this is what customers are reading. You know, it's making it easy for them. So again, I always feel like with the listings, with the content you put out there, that you can kind of influence the customer, I wouldn't say influence what they write in the reviews, but the language they use. So if you're using a word that like you feel is really powerful, like it's a transformative word, if we think of like, you know, bear with me a little bit, if we think of like, and I haven't done it, but bear with like NLP, where there's certain words that are transformative, or certain words that are very visual. This is the type of thing that if you put those words, I was about to say pepper, if you pepper those words, because when we think of pepper, we think of this. All right, there's another one is like the flames burned burned up the wall versus the flames scampered up the wall. Scampered is a word that is very visual, you know. So this is what I mean by influencing, let's say, the customer reviews, and this is something that you can use in your content. Use the words that you feel are transformative. Use the words. Again, you do have to use their language as well. I'm not saying you can completely like brainwash customers or anything. That's obviously not the case. But what I'm saying is, if you can use words that are impactful, that are transformative, you will often see that repeated. Assuming your product is good, obviously the product needs to be good as well. Otherwise, that's going to be for nothing. So, okay, so the reviews, again, we've kind of got the thing here. We've seen some of the past packaging. 4.2, so not even 4.5, but in a lot of these niches you don't have to have 4.5 or 4.5 stars or 5 stars. 4 can be enough, and obviously evident by how well these guys are doing. So this product, number 48 in pet supplies and number 2 in dog probiotic. Let's see what the number 1 is here. Out of curiosity. Purina. Okay. Well, powerful stuff here, right? Native pet. I wonder, is that the native brand? I doubt it. But nice. A couple of products here in the top. There's another one. So this is obviously powerful. These guys obviously look fairly solid as well. That's nice. Nice distinct packaging on these as well. Anyway, I'm just digressing. I'm going to have a quick look at their store and then we can have a look at their Shopify, okay? Because I know these videos are quite long. Hopefully you're enjoying them. I'm trying to almost create a video that I would like as well. I think that's probably a good sign. In absence of people letting me know. Like if you're sitting down having a coffee or having a bit of lunch, I like to put on something on YouTube that's somewhat informative, somewhat entertaining, and easy to watch. So, Pet Lab, okay, again, USA, 4 million, so it's quite powerful. Quite powerful banner here, nice and crisp as well. You'd be surprised at how many images I see, or how many brands I see where their images are just all blurry and stuff like that. I mean, you gotta really optimize that stuff. Follow the stores. This is nice, interesting. As Amazon continue to develop the brand follower side of things, and getting some more followers on here. Designed to target root causes. Okay, again, social credibility. Smelly breath. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, this is important to people, but I'm a little bit like, is that a big thing? I suppose if you're maybe giving your dog kisses or something, you know, or they're licking you perhaps. But anyway, it obviously works. This is a clickable image, so I can click this and it's gonna pop into this. Nice. So they've got some, again, badges of credibility, simplicity. Again, I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole here. Go back in here. Again, another clickable image. Really nice, really crisp. You know, this is a scientific benefits backed. I should say benefits backed. It's treating dogs. It's a treatment. It's a veterinarian product, or it's a dog product, I should say. So I really like the crisp images. I really like the buttons stand out. Again, we're getting into these marketing 101 things, but always good to point out. Nice review in there as well. Any money. This is from Amazon. Amazon reviews. It's also possible now. You can do it as well. And again, a little bit less. Maybe these are a little bit less important. They're not the total hero products, but clickable images as well. Very beautiful. Categories: dental, probiotics, allergy and itch, mobility. Again, trying to cover a lot of different areas. Teeth, digestive issues, allergies, mobility. So this might be something as they're getting older. You know, dogs get, I know myself, dogs can get like arthritis and a bit stiff. So this is obviously a nice thing. NCSA. Again, lovely. They got a lot of credibility, but it makes sense in this niche. And every niche can be a little bit different. I'm the very best man director, so I'd be interested in how much they are paying here, assumably. If anyone has any ideas what you pay for this type of influencer, do let me know in the comments. I'll be curious. And then again, this could probably be in the listing, because this is strong stuff right here, right? Now, I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's allowed. I've seen it many times in the main listing. I would put this in there. I didn't see it in there. So this would be nice. Okay. New products, dental health, probiotic. So they've got some stuff here. So that's that. I'm not going to go into this. Again, making it easy to purchase on the page. Okay, still can't purchase here, which I don't like. Subscribe and save. Yeah. I do like to see, like, this is nice. This is what I always try and do. It's a little bit finicky at times, but it's medium. This is nice because I want people to be able to check out on this actual page. Sometimes it's not possible, but if you give enough info in these images, checking out on the page is good. Whereas if it's like this thing here, now maybe this is out of stock. I know it's hard to keep the store like very fluid, but if you're running some big sponsored brands ads, which we are for many clients, you've got to keep the store up to date. You know, there's got to be a weekly check-in, because this is not able to be added to cart and it's the #1 product on this page. So again, assumably out of stock. All right. So Let's come back in here and see where we're at. We've got joined to D2C. So simple product lines, only a few SKUs. So I mean, only a few SKUs might be underselling it. They have quite a lot of SKUs, but it is super niched. As we seen earlier, very focused on dogs. A little bit on cats, but very, very little. Powerful reviews. So just really focused on delivering for that customer. Very trustworthy. Dogs in pain, high converting audience. So we know this, and I'd also know that this works well D2C, or very well D2C, because you need to have a strong pain point, otherwise people will not make the purchase. D2C, or you won't convert them onto your Amazon or your Shopify store, or your Amazon store for that reason. So let's have a look here. We've got their site. So we have the Roxana, I should say. Let's have a look at their main page. A lot of UGC, which is nice. UGC in the format of, in the categories and in the TikTok style format, which is really nice. Trustpilot, Facebook, Google, really nice. Pet parents, again, tapping into that tribe mentality. Again, we got this big button. Everyone wants 40% off, fantastic. Study to reduce bad breath. Okay, bad breath is obviously big in the pet world. Got to get those pets. I was about to say some Listerine, but that's not. Ignore that. Okay, 40% off is nice. The big banner here, really nice too. Again, they've got the categories, the same ones as on Amazon, I should add. Again, given that kind of synchronicity, that familiarity, these are the categories. These are the things you should be focusing on. And then ultimately, enough times you get that in people's head. What are they going to do? They don't have mobility here. They have joints, and that's the only thing. But other than that, same category. Okay, vet reviewed. So they've really tapped into, like, I'm not sure what they're paying her, but they're certainly getting their value out of this. So this is something to consider, depending on your niche. They have this lady everywhere, which is powerful. Google, consumer affairs. I mean, this is nice. Okay, let's have a little look at their page, because free gift with subscription, keeping it interactive. Probiotics, let's keep it on the probiotics. Do these guys go for, again, this is very powerful stuff here at Trustpilot. Nice. Interesting that they've led with Trustpilot. The one thing I don't see though, which is curious, is I do not see a buy now button. Okay, maybe this is it here. I mean, this is very powerful. A little bit more freedom off of Amazon, maybe, although I'm pretty sure it's fine on the listing as well. So I'm not sure on this. But nice ingredients. I do not see the buy now. Oh, I mean, it is here. What are they doing? Amount 1 tub, 2 tubs, 3 tubs. Save more with a subscription. So they've got the subscription automatically on, which is what I see very common now. If I remove this, save 0. Again, they get their discount removed. Powerful. On Amazon, they wouldn't allow this, obviously. But D2C, you definitely get away with it. And big benefit, no doubt about it. Fascinating stuff. Express, so they're trying to cover there from USA. This is nice. I really like this. Again, if you've got subscription, can you tap into this? Yes. Again, you'll notice as well the extras. They're smaller add-on items. You know, they're not going to buy like a huge item with it. Like, they're not going to, I mean, it would be an upsell, but obviously we know upsells are less converting. These downsells are just going to be pure profit plays, which is really nice. Or not a downsell, but an add-on. Really nice. Obviously got a lot of credibility here, but it's also quite simple and smooth. So very nice. Again, I'm not going to go into this, what they're doing here. Credibility through the roof. Except Facebook, 4 stars. I mean, I wonder what the deal is there. Is this Trustpilot? I mean, this is pretty, well, at least it looks like Trustpilot. It may be not Trustpilot, but I'm not sure what integration this is for the reviews, but I shall find out. Reviews, credibility, okay, nice. Q&A, more products, nice coloring. I know we haven't talked about the visuals at all, but it is nice. It's really beautiful. I do like it. Clean, colorful, but not too colorful. Centering on the main benefit. I mean, these are things that just get the profit in. There's going to be a profit in that for sure. Okay, so, learn anything interesting here. Story reviews. Now, if they're getting people subscribe and if they're getting people very happy, reviews are going to flow. And not only are they going to flow, but they are, look at this flag. So again, made in USA. Okay, this is not loading for some reason. Is this load? Okay, these are not even playable. Now, I'm not sure how. Is this not loading or am I just... I'm not sure why this is not playing. It looks like it plays, but then let me just... No, it's not playing. Looks like someone's on the call there as well. They're obviously ringing up customers. Again, trying to get the job done no matter how. Is this a scalable thing that the founder is on here talking to customers? Absolutely not. But does it get that critical mass at the start? Yes. And I don't know why their videos, I don't know if this is a glitch or they just want to imply that the videos are there. Maybe they just want to imply the videos are there, but they don't want them like spending all their time watching videos. That's also could be about that simplicity. Now, Shopify is one thing. What are their numbers? Okay, what are their numbers? Let me just quickly have a look here. Powerful flywheel, crisp A plus, yeah, before and after, nice. Highly emotional, yeah, we touched on that stuff. So their site, auto ship programs again, it auto subscribes, LTV, email marketing and upsell. Quite simple, quite a lean offering, but keeping it authentic on brand as we see with the categories, etc. and the visuals. Dramatic Facebook, Instagram, TikTok ads, dramatic storytelling. So tapping into that pain. We're going to have a look at their Facebook and Instagram in just a moment. But for now, let's look at their site. So we're on SEMrush, 1.4 million visitors per month. Now, I don't know if these are assumably just visits, maybe not sessions, but let's see. Let me just do the total visits. So there is a bounce rate probably. Bounce rate 66. So probably somewhat safe to assume 34%, 33.62%. 33.62. Let's have a look. We go. 1.14000. 140. 1.4 million times 0.3362. 400. So still, even with the bounce rate, taking consideration, we're looking at 500,000 views a month or 500,000 website visits. So there's no doubt there's Shopify. If you think about Shopify conversion rates, not as high as Amazon, generally speaking, but we might be looking at, let's say, a store like this, absolute minimum, maybe 4 or 5%, I would say. Maybe 3% would be minimum I've seen to make that are doing big numbers. Now, these guys are doing big numbers. It's very clear to see. Very clear. So if we think of 500,000 visitors, or a little bit under, let's assume a 5% conversion rate or 3% conversion rate. So you're starting to get an idea. So obviously 10% of 500,000 is 50,000 conversion. It's not 10%. Maybe half of that is 25,000. A little bit less than that, maybe like 70 to 20,000 purchases a month, maybe, assuming they're only making one purchase. And also, without getting too deep down the rabbit hole, they're the people that are visiting. Now, I don't know how many, but I can tell you it will be a hell of a lot of people that are already on subscription. So there will be people that aren't visiting, and that might make up a lot of their traffic. They might have a huge amount of subscription, maybe 20, 30%. That's very possible here, especially in this kind of long-term niche. So you can imagine the kind of numbers they're doing. We've seen on the Amazon, they were doing about 70 million. They might be doing another 75, assumably. I know we've got 150 on this, but it's very safe to assume that their Shopify is making up probably, it could be 50%, I don't know. But just an idea of the power there. Okay, so the visitors, top sources here. We've got Google, PayPal. Oh, these are after. So we've got people going to PayPal. Maybe that's for paying, I would imagine. So direct, 35%, so good brand. Google organic, 12%, so good source of traffic. Facebook, X, interesting. X driving some traffic, which is interesting indeed. I've heard of a few people using X for traffic now. Organic, paid traffic, 7,000 organic traffic, search traffic. This is the search traffic, so 200,000. So you can imagine quite a lot of conversions here. Keywords. Okay, we're not going to go too deep into this, but next I want to show through their offers, or sorry, not their offers, their creative. So I'm going to open up the Facebook ad library, and I know if you're still with me, thank you for watching, because this has turned into a long video, but one that I just love doing this, and I love opening these up, so hopefully you do too. Okay, so one thing, I've searched the name of the brand, but also I'm going to set it to, and they've got a lot of ads here, I'm going to set it to them only, and let's just see what they've got. Active ads. Let's see how many active ads they've got. Do I have a number here? 40. So they've got 40 active ads. And let's see how many have been running for a while, because the ones that are running for a while are the ones that are doing really well, generally speaking. April. Let's keep pushing it back here, because these seem to be evergreen. See them testing? 1,000 of cat owners, 1,000 of dog owners, cat owners. Probiotic. Score, is this the same? It's all the same. Cat owners. So they are trying to tap into cats as well. I would love to know the percentage of people that, if they have a cat, that they have a dog. Or people like just cat people or just dog people. Maybe they're both. Okay, March. So again, people can kind of get lost in like the creative in that you need like a video or something like that. A lot of it is static. And this is true across the biggest brands as well. Static images that are just good to get people in. Look at this. It's all this. This is the same. But then they test this. So they're testing the colors against in the ads multiple times. So this is the type of thing you do at volume. And this is where you need some help potentially, because Amazon is direct purchasing, so the buyer intent's very high, and you need less. I was about to say finessing. That almost sounds like a negative connotation. I don't mean. You need less psychological triggers to get people to make the purchase. You know, you really need to understand the buyer journey off of Amazon. At least if you're tapping into people that are unaware, like unaware of you and your company and stuff like that. Now, if you're running just Google shopping ads, which me and Daniel have talked about, then it's different. You're just going to be targeting your terms. So you've got kind of somewhat of a similar thing to Amazon, as in people are searching the exact thing. They're likely to make a purchase. Okay, let's keep scrolling here, because there's quite a lot of ads. Let's see what their oldest ad is. Again, static image. I'm going to press this and see, does it bring me to brings me direct to a product page. So not even an advertorial. Dog dental product of 2000. Now this is a very vague thing, because like, where's the one on this? Award winning. Let's try and find the one. Product information. Is it going to be here? Because it is a little bit hidden right now. Where's the one? I mean, I understand the benefit of saying that, but oh, here it is here. Pet Innovation Awards. Okay, so at least they've laid it out. This is the way it should be. So they're not trying to like dupe anyone, you know, keeping it real. I also think that's the best long-term strategy. You just got to keep it real. You got to be authentic. You've got to play by the rules, and not do anything unethical. Maybe is the way to do it, because that's the best long-term strategy. Even if you're full Machiavellian, you've got to agree with that. Okay, so let's come back in here. This is a long one. Let's have a look at something that maybe is interesting. November. I mean, these are running a long time. Video. They had a video. Now I wonder. Let me open up this. So they've got a landing page for this one. Okay. So they're trying to tap into these pain points. All right. So we've seen this earlier. Remember, I looked at the symptom page, or the symptom image, and we've got here something that taps into this. Now it's still running. Good support. I mean, this will probably look really nice on mobile, because what looks terrible on mobile is this like over complexity and lots of text and lots of stuff going on. This type of thing will probably look really nice. Skip. I mean, continue reading. So they've got a landing page. Kind of using this lady. Very simple landing page. They've got some quiz here, again, personalized. Can you make the shopper feel like this is directly for them? I want to scroll to the bottom first, but let me just start here. Medium. Yes, assumably if I clicked on the ad. Nice. Anything too complicated about that landing page? I don't think so. You're using the assets they already have, and you've got a very simple quiz at the end. Of course, they want people to go into the page. Like, they're not trying to discourage. Everyone is going to have a dog that's a certain weight. Like, it's going to fall into one of those 3 categories. If they clicked on the ad, there's a high chance that it actually have those. There's a high chance they have. I know we're going off the page now. 5% discount. There's a high chance they have those, like as it said, the top of the landing page, the shaking of the head, things like this. Otherwise, they wouldn't have clicked the ad, you know. And allergy immune protection. They do have the tracking ID here at the top. I do wonder, is this page a little bit different based on... Yeah. So look, it's already pre-selected. Now this is where you get the, like, again, powerful stuff, but it's important, you know, very important. This is already ready for a purchase now. We've basically set it up for a purchase. The only other thing I was going to say, I wonder, did they actually like default some of the, or change some of the text in here? Like, that's possible. That would be like, it might be the same product, but you've got to really tailor it to the problem you're solving. So your product might solve multiple problems at once. That's very possible. However, like, if they're clicking on the ad because their dog is shaking their head, and the other thing I can't remember, and then they're on the landing page and it's also at the dog shaking the head, and then they add the little quiz again, you're like hook, line and sinker here. If they go to the page and they see you're talking about like another benefit, of course they can do multiple things, but for the purposes of this customer, it really has to be just solving their problem. So that's why I was curious that they actually tailor this page. I don't really have tailored the page to it. Again, I'm not sure how well the ad is working, whether that is something worthwhile, but one ad can change the game. One creative can change the whole game. If this converts, they can just spend all the money in the world on this ad and scale it right up. Okay, I'm probably getting a little bit too down the rabbit hole here, but I hope this has been helpful. I hope this has been interesting. And stay tuned until the next one. But please let me know if this is helpful. Let me just bring in here to wrap it up. So again, Shopify, very lean, simple approach to things. What are they focused on? Lifetime value. We see that through the subscriptions. We see the branding. We see the categorization. We see the visuals. It is one and the same. You know, we do not want one different product page on Amazon to be different, and the store to be different, and the Shopify to be different. You're basically starting from zero every interaction with the customer. Let's build that goodwill. Let's build that brand equity. And then you've got the lifetime value here. Email marketing. Again, keeping it lean. Email marketing. Important, you can imagine, for a brand like this, they've probably got a hell of a lot of emails, and that would be a big source of income for them. Is their email marketing? Who knows? Maybe 10%, maybe 20%. Upsells. Nice. I did see downsells. I didn't see many upsells. I guess would you categorize that as an upsell? If it adds to the... Yeah, I think it would be maybe an upsell. It's an add-on. Because the downsell would imply that they didn't purchase the original product. So maybe it is. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok ads. Again, we looked at these. We can see what they're tapping into. We can see that the emotion behind it. We can see the ads that are working. We can see they're testing. You know, look at this. Test, different ones. So they're getting real good data on this. Maybe both of them convert. Maybe it's still at a point now where they need to shut one of these off. See this? This is what it takes. This is exactly what it takes. 3 different images here. Undoubtedly, let's say you just go to an advertorial. Go straight to a product page. I mean, they don't even have a landing page. So this might be already doing fantastic. You know? Again, trying to collect that email. So this is the type of levels it takes. Again, at that type of level with D2C, Shopify, it's really creative and offers, isn't it? You've got to build great creative to bring the traffic in, which is obviously the key. Because unlike Amazon, people are not actually landing on your page anyway. You've got to bring them onto your website. And then the offer's got to be really sweet. And these guys are really doing that. So beautifully well done to Pet Lab. And that will be a wrap.